The dark secrets of ancient Egypt. The sands of Egypt stretch endlessly, golden and silent, guarding secrets older than the written word. Beneath the shadow of the Great Pyramids, mysteries slumber, untouched by time. The ancient Egyptians left us towering monuments, intricate hieroglyphs, and tantalizing glimpses into their lives. But the truth of their civilization, their darkest, most unsettling secrets, remains buried, shrouded in mystery, superstition, and death. This is not the story you learned in school. Imagine walking into an ancient temple over 3,000 years ago, the air thick with incense, the flickering light of torches dancing on the walls. Priests chant in a language only they understand, invoking gods both benevolent and fearsome. At the center of the room lies a figure, motionless, being prepared for a journey into the afterlife. But this is no ordinary funeral. The art of mummification, perfected over centuries, wasn't just about wrapping a body in linen. It involved removing the internal organs, the lungs, the stomach, even the brain, often pulled out through the nose with a hook tool. But the heart, believed to be the seat of the soul, was left intact, or so they wanted you to think. By the later periods of ancient Egyptian history, the demand for mummification far outstripped supply. Priests, who were seen as divine intermediaries, often reused mummified bodies, stripping them of their valuable amulets and rewrapping them to sell as new. Worse still, grave robbers, some of them working with corrupt officials, plundered tombs for gold, jewelry, and even the mummies themselves, which were ground into powder and sold as a cure-all medicine in Europe centuries later. But the Egyptians' relationship with death wasn't solely about reverence and ritual. There was fear, too, a terror of what might go wrong in the afterlife. One of their most haunting beliefs was in the concept of the weighing of the heart. In the Hall of Ma'at, the deceased's heart was weighed against a feather, the symbol of truth and justice. If the heart was heavy with sin, it was devoured by Ammit, a terrifying creature part lion, part crocodile, part hippopotamus. For ancient Egyptians, this wasn't metaphorical. This obsession with purity extended to their pharaohs, who were seen as living gods. But the divine image of the pharaohs hides a much darker truth. Royal inbreeding was common, as it was believed to preserve the bloodline of the gods. The consequences were devastating: deformities, illnesses, and, in some cases, madness. Akhenaten, the so-called heretic king, is a prime example. His strange, elongated features and revolutionary religious ideas led some to speculate that he suffered from a genetic disorder. And then there is the story of King Tutankhamun, perhaps the most famous pharaoh of all. While his tomb dazzles us with its treasures, his life was anything but golden. Recent studies of his remains reveal a frail, sickly boy with a cleft palate and a clubfoot, likely the result of inbreeding. But his death at just 19 remains one of Egypt's great mysteries. Was it an accident, an illness, or was it murder? A calculated act to seize the throne during a time of political instability. The evidence is murky, but the intrigue is undeniable. The darkness of ancient Egypt wasn't confined to its rulers. The people themselves lived in a society that could be as brutal as it was magnificent. Slavery was widespread, with prisoners of war and debtors forced into hard labor to build the monuments we admire today. And while we often imagine the pyramids as symbols of eternal glory, they were also symbols of oppression. Workers toiled in unimaginable conditions, their lives considered expendable in service of the pharaoh's immortality. Even the gods of ancient Egypt had a sinister edge. Set, the god of chaos, was both feared and worshipped, embodying the destructive forces of the desert and storms. Stories of Set murdering his brother Osiris, only to be outwitted by Osiris's son Horus, reveal a pantheon where power struggles mirrored those of human rulers. And then there's Anubis, the jackal-headed god of embalming, whose haunting visage reminds us of the Egyptians' deep fascination with death. Yet behind these myths lies a darker truth. Religion in ancient Egypt was as much about control as it was about faith. But perhaps the most unsettling secret of ancient Egypt is how much we still don't know. Beneath the sands, more tombs, artifacts, and mysteries await discovery. What we do know paints a picture of a civilization that was brilliant yet brutal, enlightened yet deeply flawed. The ancient Egyptians achieved wonders that still baffle modern science, but their achievements came at a cost paid in blood, sweat, and the haunting silence of those whose stories were never told. So the next time you gaze at the pyramids or admire the intricate carvings of a sarcophagus, remember this: the beauty of ancient Egypt is only part of the story. The shadows hold the rest, and in those shadows lie the darkest secrets of a civilization that still captivates our imagination, even as it chills us to the bone. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below with suggestions on how to improve the content, as I'm a new YouTuber.